Hi there, welcome to I Alone Fly Tarot. I'm going to do a tarot card reading for Aquarius energy. And for this round, we're going to do a 10-card spread. And we're going to read it from a couple different perspectives because people have free will. Some people harness high vibe Aquarius energy. They have hope and faith and belief and love in themselves, in dreams, and healing, and looking at life from a higher perspective. Appeal or adhere to a higher truth and justice than just our own idea of what we think is just and fair, or what the world could say is just and fair. But some people do align with a more worldly Aquarius energy, and it could be if the world says something's just and fair, they think it's just and fair, and they don't listen to kind of like maybe their intuition that this isn't just and fair. And some people are just consumed with looking like a shining star in the world. It's more about the thing themself, or indulgence, or money and ego and image. And some people harness a shadowy Aquarius energy where, it's kind of all about them. And it's just to try to manipulate people to get what they want in the world. And they're certainly not operating from love. But some people at different phases in their life are more about maybe focusing on their career and not ready to be in a relationship. Whatever the case is, the truth sets us free. So if we listen to our intuition about where we're at in the story, where some other people are at in our life in the story, and how they harness their Aquarius energy and the stage of life they're in right now, and what drives and motivates them versus what drives and motivates us, we can see the truth of it, and we can wish people peace, and we can move on to invest our time, energy, and effort into the people who are on the same page as us. So, I view this card as the overarching reason for the reading, which is the Knight of Cups. At the end of the reading, we have the Knight of Pentacles, meaning, whatever we want to emotionally invest in, whatever our truth is in the Knight of Swords, that's what we're going to invest in. And our time, energy, and effort, and it depends on what our long-term plan is, what our long-term goal is. And some people, it's the Death card. I don't want to change. I want to keep living my life like this. However I view life, however I live my life, this is how I want to keep doing my life. And the Death card can be where people have no interest in. They might be emotionally shallow and superficial. They might be intimidating and controlling. They might be narcissistic. They might just don't want to change, and they may never want to change. Other people have hope and faith and belief in love. As they go through life, they heal, they grow, they mature themselves. They keep adding to their foundation. We don't view life the same way at age 18 that we did at 15. At age 25, it's different than at age 18. But some people go through life and they have these illusions about what it means to be in a relationship. They could have these shadowy ways of viewing relationships, or just immature ways. And if they think it's just and fair for them to be more about themselves, not growing and healing and maturing themselves, they're probably going to have some people who leave their life. Because other people, the Death card in high vibe is one that you want deep, meaningful relationships to explore the mysteries of life. And you do grow and heal and mature yourself. And you do give up your more immature ways of viewing relationship to grow and heal and mature yourself so that you can be in these just and fair and deep, meaningful, loving relationships, acting with character and integrity. You keep the Death card in high vibe is transforming your life. I keep incorporating I keep learning and growing as I go, and it keeps transforming my life. I keep not being the same person I was 1 year ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, because I'm not the same person, because I did learn more lessons in life. I learned more about how I need to shed my shadowy nature, my more immature, defensive, prideful, egotistical, all about myself nature. And I've grown and matured myself. But other people get to a certain stage of life and they're like, I'm good. I have this certain status or image. This is how I always dreamed of living my life, and I don't plan to do life any differently, because it would require that I go within to detach in the death card from some old ways of living life, viewing life, and I don't want to detach from any of those things. And there's some people in the world like that. Aquarius energy is fixed sign energy, along with with Leo, Scorpio, Taurus. If people in those ways of viewing life, what their idea of victorious and successful, what is it more about image and ego and status? Do they like being more emotionally shallow and superficial? They're probably going to want to keep living their life that way. That is their dream. It's more about them or more about the world, and they don't want to do life differently. And we just need to see the truth about who those people are in our life. So we start out with 3 cards not showing themselves. So when we meet people and people we have in our life, we can always assume that other people are motivated and inspired by the same things we are, because there's a lot of commonality between us that we agree on in a lot of ways. We could have a lot of similarities. We could have similar backgrounds. We could be in similar career fields. We have similar interests. We have similar family backgrounds. But regardless of how much people seem alike and seem to be motivated and inspired by the same things, what we don't sometimes realize about some of the people in our life is that we harness these 3 energies differently. So let's go see what they are. The 2 of Swords, the Empress energy, and the 4 of Wands. So the 2 of Swords is Libra energy, the Empress energy is Libra Taurus, and the 4 of Wands is Aries energy. Aries energy can be about the self. Some people want to be in denial that it's supposed to be about love because they're more about themselves. Other people listen to their intuition. They are aligned with, more motivated and inspired by love that drives them, instead of thinking it's, in their Libra Taurus energy, they think it's just and fair to give birth to new things from love. And love is a driving factor from which they manifest from. But other people in their Libra Taurus energy that they harness, regardless of what zodiac sign they are, we all harness all the traits and qualities of all the zodiac signs, just in somewhere on the spectrum of low vibe to high vibe. And other people think it's just and fair to make their life more about the world. Ego, image, money, materialism, that's what drives and motivates them. Or it's more just about themselves. I want these things. I kind of indulge myself. I love myself. Other people I want to be in a relationship, I want them to love me. And it's really just more about me. My wants, my needs, my lust, my greed, my pride, my ego. And that would be a very kind of more shadowy, self-centered person. And then the other people are just more worldly focused. It's more, there isn't a higher truth or justice. It is about these things of the world that we want to have, and they want to probably be in relationships with people that will make them look like they have those things of the world that they want. That could be being in a relationship with a loving person, because then it makes it look like they're in a relationship with a loving person, and that person could be loving and giving and nurturing. Even if they're not really that type of person, it makes them look like they are that type of person just by being in a relationship with someone like that. Other people could pick, I'm going to try to get in a relationship with someone who doesn't know the truth of who I am. I really am kind of more aligned with the world and those things. But if they have money and status and image or power and things that I want, then I'll try to get in a relationship with them. And sometimes we get in these mismatched relationships and we don't know it. Some people right now, they could be in relationships with people that they're in a mismatched relationship with. One is listening to their intuition, having hope and faith and belief that they're going to come together from a foundation of love. And the other person's like, that's not really my truth, but I might keep putting work and effort into it if it will provide me with these things of the world that I want. So then we have the 8 of Cups, the Nine, or the King of Pentacles, the Knight of Swords, and the Knight of Cups. People who are motivated and inspired by love, you know, the Eight of Cups walks away from the Seven of Cups, which can be getting caught up in these illusions of the world. You know, they can get in a relationship with people. They're getting to know people. You know, I'm attracted to you. You seem attracted to me. We're going to get to know each other. I'm going to take this job, you know, whatever the relationship situation is. But high vibe people eventually expect the dream to come into reality, not to keep just kind of indulging in a situation. They have an end goal of, I really want the dream to come into reality. I want, if it's a job, I want to learn these things at this job so that I can keep progressing within the job. And sometimes people hire people and it's like, yeah, there really is nowhere to go, or we lied and we're not, I'm going to take over all those responsibilities and you're never going to learn this other stuff that you want to learn, you know? Or a relationship, oh, I really wasn't going to do love. I just might feel stuck right now. I just wanted to get in a relationship because another relationship ended. I wanted to look like I gave birth to something new. I wanted to make look like I moved on, but I really haven't moved on, and I'm really not willing to bring that dream into reality, or I really don't want to do love. You know, so high vibe people don't want to keep staying in a more superficial, shallow relationship of the Seven of Cups, which is also Scorpio energy. And I don't want to be in a relationship with people who seem to be trying to confuse me about the truth. Like, you created the illusion we were going to detach from the past to transform our life to have this brand new beginning. But you seem to be investing in things that are kind of stopping that from moving forward. You know, why is that? And I find it confusing. And eventually high vibe people listen to their intuition and they love themselves. They offer love and encouragement to the people they're in a relationship with, but eventually they listen to their intuition. It's like, if my dream isn't going to come into reality, and I'm starting to think that we harness these energies differently, you might seem to want to maybe stay in the relationship. It works for you, or you want me to keep staying in this job, but what you think is just and fair in a foundation or a relationship seems to be different than what I think is just and fair in a relationship. You might love the status and the ego and the image of it. You might not be very flexible, unwilling to change, unwilling to maybe have some hope and faith and belief that things could be different, and you might seem to be defensive. You know, it's kind of like, I might want you to work here. I might want to be in a relationship with you. I might want to be married to you. I maybe did marry you. But I'm defensive to really bringing the dream into reality, because then I'd have to see the truth about why I'm defensive to harnessing these energies in a high vibe way. Why don't I listen to my intuition? I might live more from my mind than my heart. Why am I not more just and fair and nurturing and loving in this relationship? Why am I not inspired to kind of tap into my more creative, inspired nature? You know, to have some hope and faith and belief and love. Why do I make my life more about these things of the world? Why are those things most important to me? Why am I not willing? High vibe Scorpio, high vibe Aquarius, high vibe Libra, high vibe Aries, high vibe Pisces are people who do have hope and faith and belief and love. But people who harness those energies in a more worldly way or more shadowy way could be more about, it's just more about the world. I have free will. And as I went through life, I decided I maybe really don't want to, I prefer to operate from my more defensive egoic nature, or I just think at this stage of my life and the way I view life, I'm kind of more about indulging in these things of the world, or more about ego and image. And, you know, maybe I have some growing up and healing to do before I'd be willing to do love and get out of thinking it's just and fair to make my life more about me or these things. I don't really want to do connecting with my emotions and my intuition. If I do love, I can get hurt. Can't we just stay in the relationship and just keep doing it the way it is, and you keep letting me be defensive? I'll be defensive, you be loving. That works for me. Well, if one person is defensive to love, yeah, if they're in a relationship with a loving person, yeah, it does. They kind of get the best of both worlds. They get to be whatever they are in their more shadowy nature. I get to be immature, I get to be defensive, I get to be bossy, I get to be controlling, I get to be lazy, I get to focus just on my job, and I don't have to do love, you do that part. But the person who's loving and wanting to be in a relationship with people who are loving, they're not in a relationship with someone who's like them. So they're not getting, they want the best of one world, operating from love. The other person wants to be somehow in their defensive nature, or more immature nature, or more indulgent, self-focused nature, or worldly nature, but enjoy the benefits of being in a relationship with someone who isn't like them, who's more, high vibe energy is about having learned these lessons so you're more disciplined within yourself, where you're not indulging, you're more acting in those same ways, and you're loving and encouraging and supportive and hopeful and believing. Yeah, so it is nice to be someone who's kind of more defensive, to be in a relationship with someone more loving, but eventually the loving people want to be in a relationship with someone who's more open and giving and just and fair and acts with character and integrity and motivated and inspired by love. Some of those people could be walking away from some people in their life that they feel like they're really not on the same page with. It's like, if you want to keep making your life more about you, or these things you want to indulge in, which could be you, or it could be things that you think make you happy, or money and materialism, or ego and image, being defensive because that's what you love, well then you go invest in those things, but I'm leaving. Because the high vibes truth is that they really are, both people, the King of Pentacles can represent how people present themselves in the world, because we can all present ourselves any way we want to in the world. And when we take action in the world, it's considered masculine energy, because people don't know the truth of how we think and feel. So the masculine figures in tarot can represent how people present themselves in the world. But what is the truth of how they really think and feel, which is represented by the feminine figures in tarot? Everybody, you can look at all these different people in our life, in our world. There's a lot of people in the world who seem like these people who present themselves. I view the King of Pentacles as people in Capricorn energy, people who have freed themselves from their more shadow nature, because shadowy Capricorn energy is represented by the devil. If we've really learned lessons in life, and we've really put in this work and effort to get more balance within ourselves emotionally, so we're not tipped out of balance in our shadowy, more immature nature, we were inspired to really put in the work and effort to fight for transformation, to love ourselves and get out of our more immature nature and learn these lessons in life. And we really are someone who, also in high vibe Taurus energy, they really walk the talk. They really are who they say they are. But other people look like they're that type of person, like to present themselves as being that type of person, but in their Libra, Taurus, Aries, Pisces, Virgo, Scorpio nature, that's really not the truth of who they are. They just try to present themselves as being that type of person so other people will get in a relationship with them. And some of those people right now are really could be mad at other people in their life. There's more worldly, shadowy people. They could be mad at other people in their life who they had been in relationships with, who listened to their intuition about who they were, and those people weren't willing to keep moving forward with them in a relationship. And they're like, look at me, I went and got in a new relationship. Look, I invested in someone new. And some of the high vibe people in their life are like, yeah, and I'm sure you still are the exact same person you were in the last job or relationship. And I'm sure eventually the people that you're in a relationship with, if they're not like you, eventually those people are going to see the truth of who you are also. And those people are probably going to call judgment on you. And they're probably going to do this work to get balance within themselves, to love and believe in themselves, to not stay in a relationship with someone who's more about themselves or ego and image and money and materialism as the reason for being in the relationship. And eventually those people are probably going to leave. You know, if we're not willing to be more just and fair in a relationship, to be more authentic and loving and inspired by love, why are we in it? You know, and people who are more about those things or whatever it is they like to indulge in that they think will make them happy, that they don't have to do love, they don't have to heal or grow or mature themselves, they're probably going to find the people who do end up staying in a relationship with them could be people who are kind of on that same page as them, you know, and that's the whole thing. We go through stages of life. We view life a certain way. We view relationships a certain way. We love ourselves or don't love ourselves to certain degrees at different stages of life. We are more balanced within ourselves or more out of balance at different times in our life. And they should be in a relationship with someone who's more on the same page as them. Just like, you know, if we're 15, we should probably be hanging around with 15-year-olds. When we're more like 18 years old and we've learned some lessons in life, then we probably want to hang around like 18-year-olds. You know, and the same thing happens throughout life. It's just that when we're young, like age 15 to 25, you know, we got a lot of peer group pressure to move forward and accomplish certain goals maybe in our life. Learn to get a job, learn how to drive, go live on our own, you know, peer pressure to detach from our more immature ways of being. But then once we kind of get 25 and on, we just blend in with all the other adults in the world. And some people who, like 25 and on, they keep doing this work within themselves. They keep facing their fears and their insecurities, learning what kind of ways of being they should let go of, and they work through their defensiveness of letting go of some of those ways of being because they see it doesn't work out for them to keep holding on to something that they should let go of. A stubborn way, a prideful way, an immature way, a lazy way, a self-centered way. And those people keep growing and maturing themselves, and they keep like growing to their full potential. And high vibe energy is about becoming independent. The 8 of Cups is walking to the 9 of Cups, which is about being emotionally independent. I have learned to love myself. I have learned to be my own best mother, father, coach, voice in my own head. I'm not a child anymore. I'm not looking like for a mother figure in my life. I'm not looking for someone to parent me, and I don't want to parent someone else. I want to be in relationships with other people who have learned to love themselves, to be more independent, who have grown and matured themselves, who have hope and faith and belief in love and have learned these lessons about being just and fair in a relationship. Those are the people I am going to defend. The people who really have done this work within themselves to have hope and faith and belief in love, who continue to do this work within themselves, that when they're moving forward in something and they feel defensive in the Knight of Swords, they kind of offer love to themselves to figure out, why am I defensive to this next change occurring in my life? Or how other people in my life have changed, or the workplace is changing, or the world is changing. You know, because that is life-giving energy. Things evolve and change over time. And they do this work within themselves to maintain balance within themselves, knowing they have to hold themselves accountable, that if they are kind of stubborn or prideful or think that they should be indulged in some way, people are probably going to end a relationship with them. That, you know, we speak our truth, and if we realize that we're on different pages, then, you know, it's not like we're afraid of a job not working out or a friendship not working out or a romantic relationship. I want to be with people who are on the same page as me. Are people at any given moment in our life, we can kind of find ourselves going off track. And if we're moving forward in a relationship and it's like, wait a minute, at one time it seemed like we were on the same page, but now, did the person I get in a relationship, did they start to get more caught up in the ego or the image or the money or the materialism of it, and they're not being loving? Have they gone kind of cold? Are they being inflexible? Are they being stubborn? And we got to do this, always be listening to our intuition. If the people that we're in relationship with, if they are being just and fair and loving, people can become spoiled in a relationship in different ways. Sometimes people are loving and giving and nurturing, and other people are like, I deserve this. It's because of me that you're that way. And that's when they become kind of spoiled, and they think, well, I don't have to be loving to you. You're this loving, nurturing person. I think it's because of me that you're loving and nurturing, and then I don't have to be loving in return. I'm kind of like being indulged in this relationship. And it's like, wait a minute. It's not I love you and I'm a loving person, but I'm not going to keep moving forward in a relationship with someone who's decided that they're entitled to it. That shadowy Empress energy, when people think and feel like somehow they're in this privileged, entitled position and maybe kind of get full of themselves. And like, I don't have to do this work in a relationship because you do a lot of the work. And I like that, and you should keep doing that work. But I don't have to do that work. And it's like, wait a minute. This seems to not be as just and fair in the Six of Pentacles as it was. It maybe used to be we exchange resources with each other and everybody was putting in work and effort. But you seem to have stopped putting in work and effort. Like, when was that decided without me? That you decided that was the way we were going to move forward from now on. That's not how I want to keep moving forward. We can all know people. You could be one of these people. You could know other people. There is people in the world that listen to their intuition, are operating from a foundation of truth and love and justice. They've walked away from old situations in their life and old ways of viewing life. You and other people in the world have gotten in new jobs, new friendships, new relationships, maybe new marriages. And every high vibe people, so long as they're in relationships and they feel like they're in relationships with people that they're on the same page as, they're defending moving forward in those relationships. And not letting their more worldly, egoic nature tempt them, and anyone else who comes in their life to try to tempt them to indulge in themselves. They're saying, no, I am already in relationships with people who are moving forward with me in this way. And in the Judgment card, I have decided to keep exchanging resources with people and moving forward in that way. Because I know this is what will keep transforming my life. And even if it's, people do this within themselves too. This is the lessons I've learned and how I'm living my life. If there's other people in my life that would like to be in a relationship with me, but I know they're kind of repeating a past pattern, that I've already been there and done that. I've already been in relationships with people who have those certain traits and qualities and characteristics. And I already learned that I didn't like being in a relationship with people like that. So I'm doing this work within myself to keep walking the talk, keep taking action in truth and love and believing in my dreams, and deciding to keep maintaining balance within myself and keep moving forward to transform my life. I do not want to go back and get in relationships with people who I know have certain traits, qualities, and characteristics that I don't enjoy. And I could see that in the way that they move forward, or I already know them, that they kind of move forward in harnessing this energy in a different way than me. What they view as the dream come true or emotionally fulfilling is different than what I view as the dream life and what I find emotionally fulfilling. I might speak the truth. They might be defensive to the truth. I maybe went within and learned some lessons in life, but they might be defensive to learning some of those lessons. And that's why they're still what we could consider as repeating an old pattern. Because we all repeat a pattern of life until we learn the lesson we were meant to learn from it. And then we can go to like the next phase of life. And we might know some people who are moving forward, creating an illusion that they are these more just or fair or stable or grounded or look at life from a higher perspective people, but we might know them well enough to know that that isn't really the truth of them. That they're really more about themselves or indulging in these things of the world, which is fine. They can go live their life that way. We could meet them out. We could socialize with them. You know, we know all sorts of different people in the world. But are you someone I'm going to invest in having, like, decide to get, like, in a relationship with? No. But I can know you. I can enjoy your company, you know, in a lot of ways. I can work with you. We work with all these different people in the world. We know all these different people. It's fine for them to live their life the way they want. You know, everybody's going to have to deal with the consequences of their choices, and some people are going to learn some hard lessons. The people who really are authentically just and fair and loving and being authentic and walking the talk, you know, things are going to go better for them, I think, because they're in the flow of the universe of love, treating other people the way they like to be treated. The people who try to present the illusion that that's the type of person they are, when they're not, eventually the truth comes out. What happens when things come up in life and the people who are more grown and matured take action in truth and love and patience and self-discipline? But the other people who haven't learned those lessons, they're going to take action more out of defensiveness and fear and immaturity or something. You know, eventually people see who has, and maybe being controlling and intimidating in a relationship because they haven't learned to deal with their own fears and insecurities, to maintain balance within themselves. They get tipped out of balance more in their fear or their insecurity or their defensiveness, and then they act in these ways that aren't conducive to a relationship moving forward. And eventually some of the people in their life decide to distance themselves from them. I do not want to keep exchanging resources with you. I am leaving. You know? And some people that are kind of worldly or shadowy in some way, they're defensive to going within to deal with the truth of the situation. That relationship ended. I could be kind of full of myself. I think people should want to be in a relationship with me. I love me. Other people should love me. There's nothing I want to change about how I view relationships, how I view the world, how I view me. I know I have an idea. I'm just going to move forward and leave behind also the people who are kind of defensive to me, and I'll just go exchange and try to get in a relationship with someone else who's had a relationship that ended on them, and I'll redo this whole scenario. Maybe with them it will work. And yeah, if they are kind of immature, have illusions about what it means to be in a relationship, you know, they just need to go find someone else who's kind of on that page of life with them. I just don't think they'll either get in a relationship with someone who's like themselves, where neither one of them wants to grow and mature and heal themselves, and they're both kind of willing to enable each other in some poor behavior. So long as they're willing to stay in the relationship and not leave the relationship, you know, any relationship, are we willing to, well, high vibe, it would be more like negotiating and compromising, but in shadowy or more worldly, it might just be, are you willing to stay in it for these reasons? or just out of your fear of leaving, perfect, me too, let's stay in it. And it might end up being kind of a more emotionally shallow, superficial relationship, or where they get to be bossy or controlling or stubborn or intimidating or controlling, as long as the person they're in a relationship with is willing to keep being defensive of moving away, well then they found someone who's willing to indulge them in their poor behavior. Some people right now could be speaking their truth to some people in their life who they might think aren't on the same page as them, and who maybe aren't. Or I found someone who is willing to indulge me, or I found someone loving, or I found someone who's on the same page as me. People will be defensive to moving forward with us for a variety of reasons, even like in a workplace. You know, it's this whole thing kind of energetically. If you were to go apply for a new job and say they are someone who likes to kind of intimidate and control people, if they think you're someone who seems more just and fair and balanced and stable and grounded within yourself, it's like, no, I think I'll let you go. I'm looking for someone who I think isn't very balanced, still hasn't seen the truth about people like me who can be more bossy and controlling. And maybe I'll try to get them in a relationship or work here and maybe more codependent. And we all know when we get a job, just like a friend or a romantic relationship, we would like those to work. And we don't want to just have to leave to go get another relationship or another job when we find out people aren't who they say they are. And if some people say, even in a workplace, know that they're not who they say they are, oh yes, you should come work here. We're all so great and wonderful, and we're all so supportive and encouraging. And then you get the job and you find out they're not anything like they say they are. Well, some people who, you know, if depending on their own circumstances or have stability or security or just listen to their intuition and stand up for truth and justice, like, I'm leaving, I'll go find a different job. But some other people might be more concerned about that, or they try to find someone who they think wouldn't be willing, basically would put up with their bullshit. And the same thing happens in romantic relationships. Who do I think doesn't know the truth about who I am, who maybe hasn't learned to love themselves, to be more balanced within themselves, that I think maybe I can manipulate, that I can, if I get them in a relationship, maybe could get them caught up in their ego and things like this, or the stability or the security or the money, that even when they do find out the truth, they won't call judgment on me and won't detach from me to move forward. They'll stay in the relationship with me and maintain this illusion of how perfect and wonderful our life is. Let's create the illusion that it's love. Even though you have seen the truth that you have invested in someone who is kind of using their emotions manipulatively in a relationship. It's kind of emotionally shallow and superficial, or they're intimidating or controlling, or you find out they don't want you to ever grow and heal and mature yourself. And if you do start to do that, then they'll get mad and they'll be kind of intimidating and controlling because you're supposed to do life like this, like they do. And they never heal and grow and look at life differently. And if you are healing and growing and doing life differently, well, then they don't want to be in a relationship with you anymore either, because they want to be in a relationship with someone who isn't healing and growing and maturing themselves, isn't going to require them to do it. And partly it can just be they're not ready. You know, we all have to be ready to transform our life and deal with the truth. And sometimes some people have some issues that they hide from the world. Could even be about a mother figure in the foundation they grew up with, or how the people that they grew up with, what they loved. You know, if we grow up in a family and it is more about the ego and the image and the money and materialism. That kind of is our philosophy of life, and that's probably what we want to keep investing in. And they probably want to find other people who want to live their life that way. If we're used to being in relationships with people, some people even had people in their life that they grew up with that were kind of these emotionally shallow, superficial, bossy, controlling people. They don't want to see the truth of it, and it makes them, it affects how they are in relationships. But because they haven't dealt with the truth of it or haven't wanted to see the truth of it, they could reject loving people and be drawn and attracted to getting in relationships with people who remind them of people that they have this kind of unresolved conflict with. And it's partly drawn and attracted to them because they love those people, and those people didn't treat them like in a just and fair way. And they will be, I think, drawn and attracted to getting in relationships with people like that. And the whole thing is to try to free them. That if they get back in a relationship with someone who has some of those same traits and characteristics, and it's like, no, this time you're supposed to love me. This time you're supposed to invest in me. This time it's supposed to be different. Because they're kind of subconsciously trying to close out a cycle. We could do that work within ourselves, but sometimes, a catalyst is to get in a relationship with someone who we didn't even realize maybe reminded us of that person. And then that is the catalyst where it's like, ding, 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 ding. Oh my gosh, I cannot believe it. And that's when we kind of see, oh my gosh, I was repeating a pattern. I got in a relationship with someone who has these same traits and qualities and characteristics of someone who I could have loved, someone who I wanted to have loved me. But the whole thing is, I don't want a parent-child dynamic again. Children become free. Children become independent. And initially, sometimes some people think they do want to repeat that pattern, and they're purposely looking for someone to play that role in their life. Good or bad. But the whole thing is trying to get them to be more independent and to stand up for themselves. And if we had people in our life who never wanted us to be more independent, or people who were kind of shadowy, we can also be drawn and attracted to people to get us to work through it and see the truth of it, and for us to become independent of it and learn to stand up for ourselves. So some of you have already gone through that, and, some people have moved on. They're not exchanging resources with those people anymore. They are in the process. The Scorpio death card could be the process of emotionally detaching from people. We can distance ourselves from people. We can no longer exchange time, energy, and effort with them. But we're these emotionally complex human beings. It takes time to emotionally disconnect. And some of the people who already distance themselves from some people and aren't exchanging resources with those people anymore, now they're doing this work to love themselves and believe in themselves and believe in their dreams. The Six of Pentacles can be like exchanging one foundation and a way of viewing life for a new way of viewing life. So we can all get in relationships in our Knight of Pentacles energy, our Virgo energy, based on what we're driven and motivated by at that point in time in life, right? And we get in relationships with other people who we could have a lot of similarities to, kind of on wanting to indulge in some of the same things, have some of the same dreams. But then again, we kind of realize as time goes by that maybe our long-term goal, because the Knight of Pentacles wants to become the King of Pentacles, is it more about ego, image, money, status? Or is it more about learning, healing, growing, while we're also putting this work and effort to have like stability and security in our life? And for some people, you realize it is more, I would rather focus on these things. You want to focus more on these. And now we kind of realize we're on different pages, and kind of how we interact with each other in all these different zodiac sign traits and characteristics is now kind of shifted. And now what we want to invest in versus what some other people want to invest in is different. And, you know, that's part of life too. People get in relationship with us to help them get clear about their truth. If we're moving forward in listening to our intuition, maintaining balance within ourselves, being inspired to be just and fair and hopeful and believing in love and growing and maturing ourselves. Yeah, some people get in a relationship with us and it's like, yeah, no, I wasn't planning to do that. You can go. I'm going to go find someone who's more like me. And then we go find people who are more on the same page as us. Some of you have already, at least with the people in your life, you are communicating your truth, offering love. You know, we need to do equal give and take. Everybody needs to temper their more immature, egoic nature because, you know, if that's how you want to live your life, you need to go find someone else. This is about transforming our life, being willing to learn lessons in life, being willing to look at life as a journey, you know, an adventure to be lived. We come in contact with all these people to learn these lessons. Let's learn the lessons. Let's keep being inspired to go on to the next lesson and believe that we can manifest our dreams into reality. And let's do it from an emotionally balanced, authentic, loving way where we work together with each other in love, inspired by love. You know, and if that's not the page that you're on and you want to have a new beginning, to go indulge yourself, still caught up in illusions, still being manipulated by whatever manipulates you, but you want to look victorious and successful and you just want to get in a relationship with someone to make it look like you've moved on, to indulge yourself in a relationship where it's not really love, but it's these other things that drive and motivate you, then you have to go find someone else. And that's what some people are doing, you know. I just want to look like I've moved on. I'm going to go try to, you know, you're either being, in the Magician card, you're either being truthful and honest and authentic, or you're basically trying to manipulate people. I want to look like I've moved on. I want to look like I'm victorious and successful. I want to indulge myself in a relationship. I'm going to try to get someone to be in that kind of relationship with me, but I'm not being truthful and honest and authentic. And that's what some people are doing right now. And, you know, some of those people are going to have some people keep not exchanging resources with them and other people deciding to get out of relationship with them. And they want the high vibe people in their life want to go find the people who want to do an emotionally balanced, loving relationship. What's coming up for the people who might harness a more worldly a high vibe Aquarius energy that they might not see coming? The Queen of Wands. Why? Because of the Ace of Pentacles. This takes time. When we've experienced something where people weren't just and fair, people could have been intimidating or controlling, you know, it takes time to heal from all of that. And this is saying in the Queen of Wands, which again is how we think and feel, that this whole process will have made you someone who is more inspired to, one, listen to your intuition, because we learned some lessons about different people in the world. And now we know people like that exist in the world. You know, we were naive and gullible. We didn't know that people wore such a good false mask. Now we know. Some people, we were young and naive and we thought everybody would want to do love. And that if we do love and we love them, that of course they'd choose love. And it's like, no, there's some people that are like, I'm not investing in that. If you want to do love, you leave. I want to indulge in a relationship being defensive to love. And I'll go find someone who's willing to let me be more emotionally shallow and superficial, or whatever other ways I want to be in life. And I'll find someone who's willing to indulge me that way. And you've also, the Leo Queen of Wands card is being out of your ego about it, out of your inner conflict about it. You know, it takes time, but you get out of your ego about it. I don't really care what you go do anymore. it doesn't have an impact on me the way it used to. Why? Because you did this inner work in high vibe Virgo energy. You did this work within yourself to love and believe in yourself. Treat yourself, give yourself the things that you wish other people would have given you. You put in this work and effort to stand up for yourself and your truth, that if you're going to treat people in a just and fair and loving way, you deserve to be in relationships with other people who treat you that way. And you've called judgment on people who you're harnessing a more high vibrational Taurus, Virgo, Pisces, Aquarius energy than some other people in your life. Your philosophy of life has grown and matured and healed itself. And they, in their more worldly or shadowy Taurus, Virgo, Pisces, Aquarius, Scorpio energy, you just would feel like they haven't learned how to be open to giving and receiving love in a more authentic way, if nothing else. And you're ready to have a new beginning. First we take this work within ourselves to heal from an ending, and then we're willing to go when our intuition tells us it's time for me to go and I'm ready to go invest in something new, then we go do that. So you are going to have these brand new beginnings, not repeating an old pattern like some other people are going to do, because you learned the lesson you were meant to learn from it. You're ready to go to the next phase of your life based on the lessons that you've learned that you will take with you. Okay, what's coming up for the people? Oh, and I think as you do that, there's going to be other people who want to invest in you because they see you're not repeating some old pattern of the past. Like them, they are probably other people who have moved on, who are also not engaging in that way of living life or viewing relationships or interacting in relationships. And they also are looking for someone who also isn't engaging in living life like that, or treating people in relationships. And people will want to be in a relationship with you, and you're just going to listen to your intuition. Who are the people who want to just be the next person to indulge in a relationship with me, but my intuition tells me that they haven't healed and grown and matured themselves to do equal give and take in a relationship? That they are trying to stop me from moving forward and go back and kind of repeat an old pattern. I think with those people, you'll just speak your truth, and this is how I'm moving forward, and I wish you peace, but I don't think we're on the same page. And then the people who your intuition tells you have done this work within themselves, they have become more independent of being about themselves or the world or codependent on other people. And they have stood up for themselves, and they are speaking the truth, and they do have hope and faith and belief and love, and they have detached in the past and ready to have a new beginning. Those are the people you will invest your time, energy, and effort in to get to know them. What's coming out for some of the people who harness a more worldly, shadowy Aquarius energy that they might not see coming up? Oh, yeah, so what this could be saying too, you're harnessing high vibe Leo energy, but because we live in a world of duality and you have free will choice, there will be people in your world who harness a more worldly, shadowy energy who want to be in a relationship with you. And there will be people who harness high vibe Leo energy like you. And it's like, you have free will. Do you want to go back and repeat an old pattern? Will you be tempted? Are you really ready to go forward to the next stage of life, or are you not? No shame. We all got lessons to learn. We're all like little children perpetually learning how to walk. There's a key on either side because you're going to learn lessons either way. If you're not quite ready to really, you might have gotten out of one relationship, but you're not quite ready to really go to the next phase, there might be a transitionary relationship in there. You got to decide for yourself. But you will have people that are on different perspectives that want to invest in you. Listen to your intuition, speak your truth, Make sure people are being held accountable and that you're holding yourself accountable. What is my truth? Maintain balance within yourself. Love and believe in yourself, and don't settle for less than you deserve. What's coming up for the people who harness a more worldly, shadowy Aquarius energy? We have the Seven of Cups and the World, the King of Pentacles, the Lovers, the Five of Wands, and the Eight of Swords. And the reason that came out is because of the Aquarius star card. There's some people in the world that have decided, like, they're putting an end to doing equal give and take with people. No, I want to do it this way. If you want to do it that way, I'm not going to do it. That's operating from our more prideful, egotistical, my way or the highway kind of thing. If you want me to heal or grow and mature myself, no. If you want me to do more equal give and take with you, no. If you want me to become more independent of these things of the world or whatever it is that manipulates me, no. Well, what they don't see coming is some people will no longer have illusions that their dream can come into reality with them. And some of those people who do have hope and faith and belief in their dreams are going to end a relationship with some of these people. They want to put an end to being in relationships with people who harness these energies in a shadowy way because they harness them in a high vibe way. I no longer want to be in relationships with people who kind of wear a false mask, that they're these loving, happy family people, that they're aligned with love, but they seem to be very competitive or have a lot of inner conflict and seem to be up in a mental prison about love or taking action in love. I don't view you as the person that you try to present yourself to be. You created an illusion that you're someone who has hope and faith and belief in love, that you look at life from a higher perspective. But that's not the truth of who you are. You might like people to fight over you, for people to be in their ego about you, because you're in your ego about you. You know, and you're about you. Other people are about love, and you don't like that. You compete and fight with those people and try to get those people to not love and believe in themselves, so they keep indulging you in a more shadowy relationship. And other people see through the illusion. I'm done. And instead, I am going to go move forward, harnessing these energies in a high vibe way, and being in relationship with people who harness these energies in a high vibe way. People who really do take action from love. Love is a free will choice. But the fives can talk about change. We all have to be willing to change. Life doesn't stay stagnant. You might have your ideas of the dream relationship. Other people have their ideas of the dream relationship. If we're going to work together for a common goal, we all have to be willing to... The Six of Pentacles, Taurus energy, can be this philosophy of life that we have. We can't be so stubborn and rigid that we're unwilling to budge. You know, do you love the people that you're in a relationship with? Do you want to be in a long-term relationship with them? Then we all need to be willing to give. It can't be like, oh, I get to do everything on my life and my bucket list. Oh, but not you. No, it's really all more about me. And that's what shadowy Aquarius can be. I think everyone else should put aside their pride and ego in this relationship and willing to change and things like that, but never me. Not me. I'm like the star of the show. It's supposed to be all about me. Other people change over time. Other people incorporate new ways of doing things and expand their perception of life and relationships to work together with other people cooperatively. And they stay focused on truth and love, not up in a mental prison about love. And they're going to go invest in the other people who take action in love, who know that to be loving is a free will choice, who have changed, who have focused on love and look at life from a higher perspective. And some of these shadowy people never thought some of the people in their life would ever get over this illusion or this lie about who they try to present themselves as being. You know, I tried to create this illusion that I'm this loving person and I want to work with people cooperatively, but that's just an illusion they create. And then when they get in the relationship, they're defensive to change. No, I am all about me. No, I am emotionally shallow and superficial. No, I am defensive. No, I am materialistic. It just worked for me for you to be in a relationship with me because it made it look like I was moving forward victoriously and successfully. And the high vibe people realize you're not high vibe. I don't want to be in a relationship with you anymore. I don't view you that way anymore. I saw through the illusion. You are about yourself and these things you want to indulge in, or you're more materialistic than I realized. And that's what drives and motivates you. And some of the people are shocked that people see through the illusion and that they're going to become independent of them and keep loving and believing in themselves to keep moving forward, and that they have no intention of coming back. Because sometimes the shadowy people will act in these stubborn ways like, oh, I bet you won't. I could do truth and love and work with you cooperatively, but I don't want to do that. I think, because this could be a pattern of how they act in relationships, I'm going to act like this, and I don't think you'll love and believe in yourself. And I think you'll come back. I think you'll call judgment on moving forward, and I think you'll come back and do the relationship the way I want, because you still view me as this loving person who's just and fair. Because you don't want to see through the illusion, because you'd rather stay in the illusion than deal with the truth and have to love and believe in yourself, when you could maybe stay in a relationship or in a job with me and have the status or the image or the relationship, but it's really just the illusion of love. Your dream is never going to come into reality here. And they thought you would give up your dreams, because they basically gave up on their dreams a long time ago and made their life about this. So they thought you would too. And for some of them, they're shocked that people are like, I don't care about that stuff. It's really important to you. Yeah, I would like those things, but I'm not willing to stay in an emotionally shallow, superficial, dead, intimidating, controlling relationship to have it. There's got to be other people out there in the world. And I think that if someone's creating a little hell on earth, that means other people are creating a little heaven on earth. Because we live in a world of duality, and when we see people in our life are acting in these shadowy ways of being, it's like, that's what they want to create. I'm not going to create it with them. I'm moving on. And then I think as they also keep moving forward in their life, thinking this is the way, I'm going to make it all about me. Boy, somebody's got to indulge me and make it all about me. If I'm the boss and people make their life all about me, I'll be happy. Or if I make my life about indulging in these things, I'll be happy. If I have all the money and the status and the image, I'll be happy. And I think what these people don't realize is that they're going to be emotionally confused. They could get all those things of the world that they want, but they don't have people in their life who are loving, and they don't love themselves in a healthy way. And that they're going to have all this mental conflict and be in a mental prison because the people who weren't all about themselves and trying to manipulate and control people offered love to loving people. And those people had a new beginning, and they're focused on truth and love. And all these people have is the illusion of having that. And that's when they realized that they sabotaged themselves. They could have had those things if they would have been willing to deal with some of these things that manipulate them. But they weren't willing to do it. So everybody's maybe going to move forward in these new beginnings. The high vibe people are moving forward in ways that completely transform their life. The other people are going to keep repeating this old pattern, wondering, why isn't this working out the way I want it? It's like, because you have this illusion that living your life this way is like the end all be all, and you're not willing to heal or grow or mature yourself. And the people who you might be in a relationship with could be just like you. And they have a lot of inner conflict about love too. So, there you go. Aquarius energy, I wish you peace, love, and joy, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.